cadets exterminated a purple people-eating monstrosity, much to the delight of the ogre pirate captain Bella and her buccaneers, who then aided the cadets to harvest the giant space worm's great treasure, its potent stomach acid. They then headed towards Inc. HQ on the Spelljammer to report on their mission, only to learn that Inc. Academy Director Mirt has fallen ill.
Welcome back, land lovers and scurvy dogs alike. Welcome back to our D&D Spelljammer campaign, Astral Agents and Boats. I'm your friendly rat bastard GM, Kiwi, and tonight this is the conclusion of our introductory adventure, Spelljammer Academy. I can say that now because it's too late for me to spoil that for any of my players. My wonderful players would never have ruined the fun for themselves in any case, I'm sure of that, but just in case that was never mentioned publicly. And in any case, we have gone so far off the beaten track now that the original adventure module is completely unrecognizable with where we've taken the adventure. However, this would be part 3 of chapter 4, Homecoming, of the wonderfully free adventure module, Spelljammer Academy. But for us, it's episode 12, and it's the Homecoming Heist. This will effectively be the conclusion of our prelude. Speaking of my wonderful players, Kabuki, tell us who your character is, and as they arrive back on the hammer ship at the Inc. Academy, what they're thinking and what they're feeling.
Alright, well, I'm Kabuki. I'm playing Axel. He's a human, once again, stuck in a Leonin body, barbarian. What is he thinking? What is he feeling as he gets back to the Spelljammer? He is very, very unsure of what steps to take because he wants to complete the tasks that were given to him, but he also wants to, stay on point with his comrades. He's always been someone that, even though he was a mercenary, he always had like a fellowship with his mercenary band. So he doesn't want to go against them, but he thinks they're going down the wrong path. But it's very confusing. He's not sure what path is right. So he's leaving the decisions up to his captain and following in his footsteps and hoping that everything will turn out all right.
All right, nice. Liz, tell us about your character and how they're feeling and what they're thinking as they return on the hammer ship to the Spelljammer Academy.
Yeah, I'm playing Captain Zaminius Solari IV. Genasi Noble Prince, 5 Genasi Noble Prince, who is trapped in the body of a rat shifter, and right now I think he's feeling, as he returns, he was a lot more solemn and ponderous on the journey back. So I think that he is. I'll keep what he's thinking specifically. He's to himself still, but he's definitely feeling. I think some relief to be back to have a mission to complete. So now he's turning his mind to the mission at hand, to the task at hand, which is a jailbreak.
Interesting. A mystery. There certainly were some very curious moments there, which I think made us all sit up in our chairs during the flight home. Goonie, tell us about your character and how they're feeling, what they're thinking as they return to Inc. Academy.
Hello, I'm playing Ace, the swashbuckling half-elf lost boy who is now himself in the body of apparently a very notorious and brutal space pirate who was a Githyanki. And on the ride home, I think I'm still riding just the massive excitement of our big space worm fight. So I'm just, pumped to get back to the academy, but also a little bit nervous because we're not sure what we're walking into, and I've just kind of lied a bunch to one of our our superiors, impersonated our chaperone, who is now dead. So yeah, I'm a little nervous, very excited because what we accomplished. I mean, surely they're gonna forgive us after they hear what we did. And I'm just also kind of excited for what's to come because I have a feeling there's going to be some chances for sneaky stuff, and just generally being places we're not supposed to, doing things we're not supposed to, which is kind of something I'm into, to be quite honest. Ace loves that.
Beautiful. All right. Wynn, tell us about your character and how they're thinking.
Hey, I'm Win. I am playing Dr. Carey, who is a scribe wizard in the body of some sort of warrior bug person. I think partly Carey is just distracted. Her head is full of new spells. There's lots of spell swapping. Which gets a little. Put the keys in the bowl, and secret. Go to your secret places to swap around. So her and McKenna are trading that, and she's got her own spells. She sort of figured out. And I think honestly, so she came off the ship. I think distracted, and was immediately very relieved that we weren't just immediately clapped in irons for lying to our superiors about the the various tragic deaths that occurred on our ship. So I think that whatever heist might be afoot are not quite on her radar yet.
Okay, beautiful. The first order of the day, as you return, you are invited with the offer of an appropriately coloured red cap to head up to the Spelljammer Nexus and speak with Seth, give the report of events. Is anyone doing anything particular as the hammer ship comes into land on the Skydock, or are you willing to gently go down to the Spelljammer Nexus and give your report?
Yeah, you always need a debrief after a mission.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think. So yeah, give it deeper is fine. I'm just trying to think of how careful we need to be about this particular debrief. So yeah, as I go in, I think that Dominius will whistle a little bit to himself and pass the hand over and cast enhance ability on himself, the Eagle Splendor, to give him a boost to his charisma in case we need to lie a little bit. So that's what he'll do.
Axel's just gonna follow. Like I said, I think he's gonna be more subdued this go around, and he's not going to be towards the front lines as he normally is. He's gonna let Dominius kind of handle negotiations, so to speak.
This might be a time for a fresh start. Mirt and you didn't get along, but there's a new man at the top. So maybe you could play it cool. Play it smooth.
I'm just following along with the big smile because Ace doesn't prepare for things mentally. Rolling with it. Yeah, let's do this.
Nice. How does Axel respond to Dr. Carey's suggestion to try and get in good with the new Inc. Academy director? Is there any response, or is that kind of a comment that goes ignored?
It definitely will go ignored for sure.
Okay. You head down a few flights of the winding steps. The smells, just the same. The rowdy, boisterous noise of students can be heard, echoing throughout the corridors down below. The Nexus, however, has been cleared. Seth sits where he welcomed you at his desk below the Ori, where you practiced with the mini Spelljammer ships the first time you practiced your navigating skills. And he greets you with a pleasant smile, but he looks reserved, much more reserved than you've ever seen him before. And he invites you all to take a seat. Good to see you, all well. I heard that there were grave complications with your mission. What happened exactly to Quartermaster Ryback?
There were indeed grave complications. Is it Commander Seth now? Have you been?
Seth is fine. It's a temporary position. Well, it's an unwelcome position, shall we say? But we do what we must to keep things moving along as best as possible. But Seth is fine.
I see. But yes, there were indeed grave complications. Ryback was the victim of sabotage, as was indeed most of our mission. It seems that the Mercane had their eye on the meteor as well, and took many steps to ensure that we were in a weakened position, so we could not resist them when they made their move on it. Ryback was slain by sabotage on our way there to the site of the recovery, and once we were there, we were able to extract the meteor with great difficulty from the local situation, and on our way back, it turns out that we were being tracked by the Mercane. They communicated to us that either we surrender the meteor or would have to do battle with them. And as captain, I take full responsibility for this decision, but I did not believe my amateur crew would be capable of taking on a fully armed Mercane ship, or two, it seems. So I made the decision to trade away the meteor, seeing as they likely would have extracted it from the ruins of our ship either way.
I see. You attacked the Mercane themselves. That is most concerning. My question, I suppose, would be, when Quartermaster Ryback was killed, why didn't you inform Bosun Tato immediately of the situation?
You mean via what means?
By the sending stones on Quartermaster Ryback's person.
I'll take responsibility for that. I didn't want to worry everyone here. I knew there was problems and they were being dealt with, so I didn't want to split the attention away. I thought we could handle it, just complete our mission, get back as fast as possible, and everything would be fine.
I see. Are you suggesting you kept the knowledge of the sending stones from your captain? Because Zeminius seems to not be aware of there being any sending stones.
I did. I kept the stone. I hid it when I found it and kept it on myself.
All right, make your deception check there, Ace.
So is anyone else with us? Did McKevin or Vina or any of them come along?
At the present, you are being interviewed, the four of you and Estria together.
Okay.
Like I said, I just didn't want to worry even our crew. I thought I didn't think this would be anything as big as it was. I just didn't want everybody else to have to worry about coming back, ending the mission. We just finish it, get going.
I see. And you mentioned that there was great difficulty extracting the meteorite from Hekatha. Can you describe the situation? Were there any anomalies when you were there?
This I will photo to my crew members, as I stayed on board for various reasons for the beginning of the extraction, so they might be able to give you a better report.
There was nothing but anomalies. You're a nonsense place. There's some sort of war going on. There's some large, huge, one-eyed giant. He was in league with the Beholders. There was another tyrant ship. There was these weird water skimmers. There was a huge skeleton dragon. It was just chaos.
Interesting. What do you mean by water skimmers? I'm familiar with the other creatures, but what are water skimmers?
There were these. It seemed like some sort of society of folks with masks, and they were chasing some. There were some settlers that came in on a large inflated type thing, who were trying to settle, but these folks, I assume they must have been from the island, but now that I think about it, I don't know.
I'm sorry, are you suggesting there were humanoids on Hekatha?
There's multiple sorts.
There was. They implied they were from a different world, not from.
Different world. Did you see their ship?
Said,
did they have? Were they spelljammers? What would they be doing on Hekatha right now? You don't think they were spelljammers?
No. No, I don't think so.
This inflatable ship couldn't be some sort of.
They opened some sort of gate, didn't they?
They came through a gate.
Yeah.
A gate, a portal. You think?
Something like that.
Why do you come?
Ship-sized.
It wasn't exactly like the one we flew out of from here, but definitely something similar, I would say, right?
So the meteorite is now in the position of the Mercane raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
Unfortunately.
what was the reason you took so long to return? I heard that there was a call made that seemed to suggest everything was fine.
Well, we needed to find a safe place. Even though I did make the decision to pass off the meteor in exchange for no combat, I wasn't foolish enough to just do it in the middle of space. So I needed to find a neutral ground. We also did have.
We had a ship leaving her.
Yes. Exactly.
I'm sorry.
And-
Apologies, Axel. What did you say?
We had a damaged ship leaving Hakatha.
Damaged ship. Oh. How did your ship get damaged?
The damn dragon! The skeleton dragon!
On Hakatha?
Yes.
The face of Seth is like, it looks like none of that adds up to any information he's ever heard about the place where they sent you. Like, you can see his mind boggling as he's getting this information.
There was a big floating eye that disintegrated one of the humans.
Yes, the beholders. That's
Yes, and then there was a massive skeletal looking dragon that emerged from the coast where we had parked and was attacking our ship even as we were extracting the meteor. So our ship was severely damaged.
I see. Are you suggesting you were prepared for the Mercane attack? You had time to reach a safe port?
I wouldn't say we were prepared, but we were prepared to do the handoff. We knew that the Mercane were after us and figured out that it was their sabotage. So it was, I suppose, simple arithmetic to know that they were following us. So we chose to go to a nearby safe port to park up. And once they came, we commenced negotiations.
And Ace, why did you call pretending to be Ryback exactly?
I never intended to impersonate Ryback specifically. It got out of control, and so I just kept it up. I didn't. I realized I should have stopped and came clean by that time, but I didn't. It got out of control. Like I said, I had good intentions at first. I didn't want to worry everybody, but I guess...
Interesting. Just make another deception check for me. Go ahead and make an insight check as well.
Trevor really seemed convinced that I was Ryback, and it seems like she was especially concerned about him. Maybe there was something there. I didn't want to break into her.
Wow.
Interesting. You have the sensation that, however gently, that Sereth is grilling Ace. Like there's something that he doesn't like from Ace's story. He has insisted, despite his face being very cool, calm, and collected. There is this kind of, I don't know if you've ever seen like a real police interview where they kind of will lead the witness down their own path of calamity just very gently. It kind of feels like that, and Ace has felt it before. Maybe Pan has, he's been up to mischief, and Pan knew it was him and kept asking him questions until he got Ace to finally admit it. It kind of feels like that to Ace.
Okay.
Did anyone notice any suspicious behavior from anyone aboard the Tyrant ship before or after Ryback's death? You did mention sabotage, so I wonder if anyone noticed anything suspicious.
Of course we noticed things suspicious. Once we're in a situation where it seems like sabotage is happening, paranoia takes over, but in the end we didn't find any. I don't believe
I searched for 4 days, found no one, nothing.
Exactly, and that was all of our experience. If there was sabotage, it likely happened while the ship was docked here before we left.
Before you were docked, I see.
Did we mention that the ship that we were given was full of hateful robots from some other civilization that tried to murder us?
That is
Yes,
what.
that was part of your training. We had great confidence in your ability to kill.
Okay. Which of them?
Von Bibity's our friend now. Specifically Dr. Carey's.
Yeah, we made a friend out of their parts.
Oh, really? Who is this Von Bibbity?
Better, where is Von Bibbity?
I would be with the rest of the crew. Currently not being interviewed.
I guess he should be a student here or something.
You found a survivor on the ship? Is that what you-
A robot.
We assembled an auto gnome.
No, he was like
What
the guy we got our equipment from.
Yeah.
Mr. Blip. Fascinating.
Yeah, he was like Mr. Blip.
They could be brothers.
Well, he wasn't as
I'm not sure it
talkative.
worked like that, but I'm certain that Mr. Blip will be fascinated, as am I.
He'll be fascinated with his rad gun arm and hover legs too. So.
Wow.
It's
Sounds,
badass.
yes,
It's cool.
That's the word I was looking for. Badass. Zaminius, as the acting senior officer, might I have a private word? Thank you, Axel, Ace, and Dr. Carey. Just one quick word with you before Estria, thank you too. If I could just have a word in private there.
Of course.
He invites everyone else to leave.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
After doesn't move, he kind of so.
Zaminius gives him a nod. Of course, Axel. Everything will be all right. I'll talk to you in a moment.
And then he walks off.
Seth, as soon as the door closes behind the rest of them, Seth asks, his tone deadly serious now. He says, this Estria character and Ace, how trusting are you of them, and did you notice anything untoward from either of them during the trip?
Well, so if I'm being honest, it takes some time for me to fully trust anyone, but I trust them as much as I trust anyone in this new life. And that is to say,
Not much?
not much, but with them, they have earned my trust more than anyone else that I've interacted with as yet on this station. They've acted, as far as I can tell, only in their full integrity and with the well-being and mission of Inc. in mind. And I...
Have either of them ever said the word chaos in your presence?
No, I don't believe that they have. And can I ask what the significance of that word would be?
There is a rival organization that stands against all of the principles that Inc. is founded on in the stabilization of the natural order of the multiverse. Chaos works against that, and I am wondering if perhaps the Mercane are working with Chaos to unstabilize things here at the Academy. It's just this growing suspicion I have, and so if you hear that word mentioned by either of those two, please report that to me immediately.
I will.
Zaminius has heard that word from Estria. You personally weren't there
Oh, okay.
during the session when Estria shared that she used to be a Chaos bounty hunter, but Zaminius was there. Because you personally weren't there, I'm still going to have to ask for your character for the deception check, yeah.
For sure. I mean, he would have lied anyway.
Okay.
Or I would have had him not tell the truth, because he's playing everything very close to the chest. Deception. Ooh. That's where you cast Enhance ability, so it was a 1 and a 16.
Wise use of your spell.
Ooh.
You can give me an insight check as well.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, you can
Natural
tell
20.
that even though Seth is very calm and speaking gently, he has some serious suspicions about what happened on the journey, and he is digging as subtly as he possibly can to try and dig out some of the suspicions that he has going on. And you have the sensation that he has a very large target painted on Ace and Estria as the ones responsible for the sabotage, is the gut feeling you're getting from the read. And he seems to be wondering if you're covering for them. He's kind of like trying to pull details from you to see if maybe he can trip someone up later on.
Right. So Minius is gonna, he sees this and he's gonna kind of turn the tables around and be like, now, Seth, unless there's any other questions about your mission, I am very curious about what is the situation on the station. I've heard some very dire things and I'd like to be prepared to know the storm that I'm walking into. What's this about Mirt?
Mirt has fallen ill. He is
I've heard.
currently bedridden and unable to perform his duties as acting director. So I'm filling in for him. We are unsure the source of his ailment, but it seems grave. So
What are the symptoms?
it seems to be intense pain and an inability to function in any way because of the severe pain he's suffering. We're checking all of the food. We are checking to see if maybe the attack from the little critters that bit him has had some long-lasting effect, but none of the healers or the medics seem to be able to relieve him of the symptoms. And we believe it's again another step in the chaos that the Academy has been suffering recently.
See. And are there any other events that I should be worried about? Was there some things that have occurred concurrently with the director's sickness?
No, I just think that if you could just communicate with those that were under your charge during the mission, that the graduation will foreseeably be delayed for now due to the extreme circumstances of a dead examiner. And the mission technically is a failure, although obviously the extreme situation of being attacked by a rogue organization is far beyond your control. We don't blame you, but for now I think it's safest if we return to normal studies and we take our time with things until this is a little clearer, shall we say.
I see. Understandable. I will let them. I'll let them know. I'm sure many of them will be disappointed, but it's the way of things.
What was the sabotage exactly?
It was some sort of exploding rune, I believe. Caused an intense fire that.
Fire. It was fire.
Yes. Yes.
Not acid.
No, not acid. I believe. Why do you ask?
Oh no reason.
Fire, if I'm remembering correctly, but...
Okay, thank you, Zeminius. We'll talk again.
Of course. Acting director, I will... Let me know if you need any other information, and he'll get up and leave.
As you guys leave, you see that Vina and her crew are being called in to receive, you suppose, their own questioning. You are... The veteran guards there... save if you just want to head back down to the bunks now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be all for now. There is lunch is served if you want to go and have a meal.
Ryback would have given us pudding.
There's no pudding today. I'm sorry, we haven't had pudding since. Yeah.
Damn, alright.
Where are you guys headed?
Go to lunch.
To the lunchroom?
Axel will go eat.
Yeah, I guess we'll go to lunch and just at least maybe we can gather some more information about what's going on right here.
Kind of get a feel for the place while we're there.
As you are sitting down to your very unremarkable lunch, very bland, nothing compared to the explosive wonder that was the beans and whatever else that was that first morning. I'm not sure if any of you recall, but there was a moment when a man invited you to come to the kind of like student bar to get the gold caps and then go and talk to Mirt in private. Do you remember that? The same. Good. Yeah, it's very forgettable. The person that you spoke to is utterly forgettable, and you barely recognize him, if you recognize him at all, when he sits down at your table again. He leans in and says, "Our mission is a curious paradox. We seek to maintain the natural order, but we cannot be brittle in our approach. Chaos rebels against natural order. If we're too rigid in our response, cracks will appear, and order will tumble back into the primordial soup. Now is not the time for obedient sheep. Follow the chaos to its source. And when you understand how to tame it, then is when you rebuild and reorder. Mirt will understand your decisions. Find your way to him. Find your way past the shroud that cloaks his mind, and he will give you the direction that you need to obtain what you need. And this completely unremarkable man smiles and goes to stand up.
Okay. Dominus doesn't stop him.
Who's that guy again?
He leaves and you've almost already forgotten him again. It's like, he's that forgettable.
Did that mean anything to any of you?
Some of it. I believe we need to see Mirt.
Sure.
All right, cue the heist music.
Set us down on this path.
Oh, shit. Oh.
All right, your mission, which you chose to accept as a heist stealth mission, begins now.
Oh,
With what would be essentially the reconnaissance or the prep work. Elements of the mission that you have with McKevin is to gain access to the key that only Mirt knows the location of. Unfortunately, Mirt, at the moment, is bedridden. The guards around his chamber for safety precautions have doubled because of the attacks on his life. And there may be more safety measures you currently are unaware of, but that is something that you can quickly establish, that the room where Mirt is under heavy guard. Not only that, it seems that Mirt in his current state has been reduced to a state of almost total incapacitation, incapable of moving, thinking, communicating, completely bedridden due to this overwhelming pain that he seems to be suffering. So, in the reconnaissance phase of your heist, you need to figure out how you're going to get to Mirt and how you're going to get the information you need from him. Each of you are going to have a chance to decide how your character is prepping for the mission.
Okay.
And then we will, whatever you decide, how you decide to do that, it will have an effect that can either gain a +1 roll for the next phase of the mission when the action begins, or you can provide yourself with a future flashback where at some stage something happens. You will be able to use that flashback that you earned to backtrack, describe events that you already prepared for without changing reality, and maybe change from what seemed like the skill that you were going to need that your character might not be prepared for with the flashback, have previously prepared for it using a skill that your character is good at. Over to you. I will clarify more as we progress, but at the moment you need to figure out how you're going to get to Mirt and how you're going to communicate with him. Are your two major obstacles?
So I know what Zeminius would be doing for his first prep action or approach to this, and that would definitely be to fraternize with the guards. He'd figure out where at least one or two of his Mirt's guards are, and he would try to, or where they go to drink, where they go to eat, that sort of thing, and he would try to infiltrate that and talk with some of them, maybe figure out some of their weaknesses. If maybe fraternize, seduce one of them, something like that. I'm not sure what the time frame is, but he would try to slide in there, go to the guards bar.
Freeform time-wise now, so as many hours, days as you need to be dedicating as a group for your agreed-upon time frame. That's how long.
Okay. So yeah, that's what he would do.
Okay.
For sure.
So would you? How do you do that exactly? Is the fraternizing more of a social interaction? Is it an observation that you're making? What is it that Zeminius is focusing on there?
I think it's social interaction. It would be approaching. So if we have days he would be buttering up of like, okay, maybe at first he wouldn't immediately approach, but he would be like, all right, I'm gonna be in the same space, I'm gonna be getting drinks. And then maybe the next day he might approach one of them and offer them a drink, make a comment, like just a friendly comment, and slowly try to ingratiate himself so that.
Okay, persuasion. Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
15's the security level of your target, so that's what you need to beat.
Okay. Oh, whoops, that would be off, but he he failed anyway, even though he rolled a with advantage. But let me take that off.
They seem distant, harsh, cold, unreceptive to Zemenius's attempt to ingratiate himself, tight-lipped with information. So he is aware that the guards are swapping. There's always 4 guards blocking the passageway which have been down to Mirt's room, and there's always 2 that remain constant there, while other 2 will change out. So at the very least, there's always going to be 2 guards, but there's usually 4. In the moments of changing of the guards, then it goes down to 2 until the next 2 guards arrive to relieve the guards that have left. But there's no moment where the passageway is free, is what Zemenius is able to figure out.
Okay.
But he doesn't get an in with them.
Yeah. They're professionals. They're I'm not sure where they found these ones, but they're unfriendly. They're paranoid, and they didn't seem interested in my natural wiles. So
I don't believe
more
it.
Difficult.
Axel was going to do something very similar, but he was going to do it in a more alpha dominant male approach. So he was going to like constantly go to the gym, try to see the guards that were on duty, see them at the gym, and kind of do like a wrestling match with them, so to speak, or kind of assert his dominance, but not to try to intimidate them or anything, just to like gym bro status, I guess you could call it. You know,
Right.
Same concept.
Okay. All right. Athletics. Gym bro status.
Can Axel do the thing where he makes his pec stance in like different patterns?
Absolutely, he can do it all. Yeah.
15's your target for gym bro status.
Do you want me to do persuasion as well?
No. Athletics.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh my god.
Oh,
Boy, we're not
Great
here.
rolls. Great rolls tonight.
There's a somber mood down in the training area, and everyone's kind of just. I'm not up for it. Like, just train, get your workout done, then go and do whatever task you've been set. No one wants to engage with Axel or team up, buddy up. It's a cold show. It's a cold world.
Damn. Son of a gun.
Right. Well, I guess it's time for me to dash in. So I think there was mention of various other sort of security precautions, which Carrie immediately assumes is some sort of magical systems of this or that, or I guess she has her mechanical aptitudes too. So I think she'd want to kind of first maybe sort of just ask around the nerdy wizardier types to see if any of them know like what's been set up, or if there's sort of, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're building a world here. I don't know if there's sort of clockwork, turret emplacement type things that happen in this world, but that might be another route. But I think first she wants to explore to see if she can figure out who set that up, and then kind of approach them and appeal. Mirt's really taking me under her wing, and I can I do anything to help? Sort of a approach to kind of get it in order to learn what is there and how we might contravene it.
So, are you thinking you're using your nerdy, similar knowledge to ingratiate yourselves with them, or are you like kind of buttering them up, so to speak, the way that Zoom is?
Yeah, I mean, first one and then the other is. As far as my skill rolls, they're all kind of the same. So.
Okay, so I guess a persuasion check with your nerd group would be appropriate then.
Great. I rolled a 20, dirty 20 on that.
So the nerdier group seem to be far more open to talking about the situation. The people that you speak to say that they kind of delve into the lack of understanding of what's going on, and they throw out some theories when you're speaking with them that they find that stumps them, so to speak. They talk about a ward versus against scrying that protects the room, so they feel sure that it can't be some type of distant kind of mind attack. They seem to have discarded that because they seem very sure that the ward against scrying should protect Mirt against something like that. They talk about all of the sweeps that have gone on through the room, trying to detect if there's any cursed items that might have been hidden in his room or tucked away to make him suffer this strange malady, and that there's a constant detect magic on the door, that anything magic going through the door will set off a series of alarms. And they talk about Mirt being in a near catatonic state, so he has not been able to reveal any details of his actual suffering himself.
Okay. Can I do anything? Is there sort of rotation where do I need to re-up any spells, or can I be part of the protections?
No, you should just focus on your studies, because you're still a junior cadet, so it's not really your wheelhouse.
Well, let's not be rude, but
I mean, it's not to be rude. It's just we've been here quite a lot, not long years. We're figuring it out, but thanks.
Thanks. All right. Well, if I can help, I'll set up.
They've given you all that information, but they don't seem open to helping. But you don't have a feeling like they're actively doing anything themselves either. So that seemed felt like they're kind of making themselves more important than they were.
Okay, I don't think there's a astral wizard staring over the scene or something like that.
No.
Okay.
So I think hearing some of if Ace is hearing some of this, I'm gonna want to try to circumvent the system if it at all possible. So like if we can't find a loophole or a friend, is there a way to just completely avoid some of what we're going to encounter? That's how I used to infiltrate pirate ships, hide, find out where they're not going to be and be there. Get in small places, just find out where you can't be seen. So I think I'd be kind of like the raptors in Jurassic Park, so to speak, testing the boundaries. Just see how far I can get away with sneaking until somebody stops me. Hey, what are you doing? You can't be here. Paying attention to any opening, holes, vents, or just anything being brought in and out in crate, which I doubt there would be, but just things like that, trying to look at the routine and see how I can exploit it.
That could work either with a pure observation with perception, or figuring things out more, seeing what triggers what with investigation.
My perception is a little better than my, so yeah, we're just watching, keeping the keen eye.
Okay.
So
before I move on with Ace, Dr. Carey, are you taking are you giving a +1 to the next section of the skill challenge of the heist, or are you taking a flashback for yourself?
Let's take a flashback. Why not?
What's Ace doing? Are you awarding who's basically going to be the face of who will lead the next section of the skill challenge? Are you giving them a +1, or are you taking a flashback for yourself?
I think I'm going to go with the +1. Just use what I know to kind of help out build up our confidence.
In your observations, I don't know if you still have the map up of the academy, but I would ask you to kind of zoom in to the top part where you can see bridge quarters, the Skydock and the Spelljammer Nexus. Ace figures out that to get to the bridge quarters from the stairs, anyone has got to go up through the Nexus for a start, which means going past Sirth, who seems to be constant. He's made it his office. The stairs go up to the bridge quarters from there, and then there's a hallway which is constantly guarded by the 4 minimum guards. He has been able to figure out from being on the Skydock that there is a crane which is lowering things from the Spelljammers that are coming in down to the lower levels and taking things from the lower levels and coming up, which seems to be a system of transport much swifter than carrying things up the stairs like you guys did with the box that was transporting the Nyogi that day. There seems to be also, from looking over the edge, you can see a balcony with the double doors, which seems to be another way to, from the Skydock, possibly access the bridge quarters without having to go through the Nexus and going past Sirth. From the stairs before the Nexus, there are stairs which seem to be looking directly up to the window of Mirt's room, but it is a very difficult climb from those stairs to that window. But that would certainly avoid having to get either to the Skydock or the Nexus, although that seems to be a very treacherous route if it went poorly. There might be another way from the Skydock to get down to the window. Those are all the kind of things that are swirling around Ace's heads as you've explored and bumped into things and had a look of possible routes. But looking at the map, it might occur to you other routes that I haven't mentioned as well. Moving on to the next phase of the heist, the approach. The group's going to have to choose a face to make the leading role, which is going to establish how well things go in general and how difficult it is for you to overcome the challenges that are bound to crop up as you try to reach Mirt and communicate with him. Being a sneaky heist, the face is going to have to make a dexterity roll, a +1 from the bonus that Ace provided. It suffers a -2 because of Mirt's high rank. So basically it's totaling things up. It's a d20 plus dex -1 roll. So whoever is the face is going to be doing some type of sneaky approach to kick things off. If that goes well, that's going to make everyone else's successive rolls, or when they overcome challenges that I'm going to throw at you, are going to make that easier for them to overcome. If you fail, it's going to be harder for them to overcome the challenges that come up. If it's a really bad fail, it's going to be really difficult, and things could easily escalate into not a good situation for the group that may even result in a combat type situation. So, first of all, you need to decide who's going to be the face.
I would assume it.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I would say Ace, right? Ace, you have the highest dexterity.
I'm fairly sneaky, but I have good stealth, and my dex is only +3, so I'm not sure if I'm the highest.
Oh, I'm jumping the gun. Because Estria's not with us, you can choose to bring in an NPC for some other part of the reconnaissance phase as well. Because this is meant to be for 5 people. So would you like to bring in an NPC?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just thinking who
would we both trust and be an asset?
Yeah, I mean, the Kevin might be capable, but do we want to bring him along?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Bibbidi or Vina would probably be best, right?
I was thinking those two as well.
Would Vina go for it? Maybe. Bibbidi for sure.
Were we avoiding telling her about the whole Mirt alliance situation stuff?
I
thought
clean with it at the
I
end.
think
we came clean with it.
fold.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, maybe she would be down with it to help me.
What Von Bivity? What would he bring to the situation? We really should have taken Von Bibbidi through the training course to see what he can do. I guess we got time.
What's Tom Bibbidi good at? Is it like?
Last time I have no idea what his dexterity would be, what his class would be. I want to drill him some.
Yeah, I don't know.
You probably have a sensation that as a newly rebuilt autognome, his abilities are probably not comparable to what Vina could bring to the table.
Yeah. I'd say Vina's probably the better choice because at least she is supposed to be here. They'd be like, who are you? Tom Bibbidi. They found him.
Is she a dex warrior?
She was shooting lots of bows and arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would think Vina would do for reconnaissance something dexy.
We have another. We have at least a free day, right?
Yeah, this is over.
Okay.
I'm imagining this happens over 2-3 days, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the record, I am re-preparing spells as we're having this discussion. Then.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
She could do like.
I mean, she was a popular chick. She has a lot of clout, I would say. She might be able to do something that we didn't able to do.
True. Maybe she could observe, like hide and observe the, or just try and make herself inconspicuous and observe like the crane. Maybe see who is running the crane often. If there's moments where they take a lunch break and leave it unattended, that sort of thing. So I think she would try to, get some intel on that.
To be a brisk skill in that situation. All right, just enough. So she's going to provide another +1 for the face, rather than flashback.
Okay.
An even roll.
So even roll.
So Vina seems quite pleased and quite open to you guys continuing to bring her into the fold with your plans. And she, during those days, you're kind of very everyone's quite disappointed with not having graduated. Vina is the most disappointed of anyone, and is quite vocal about her disappointment. And you can tell that she's like in a very rebellious mood, and so she seems to jump at the idea of let's do something that we're not being told to do. You're given a lot of menial tasks. There's a lot of scrubbing of the spelljammers up in Skydock, so you are regularly being sent up there to work with the two wee gnomes who've always seem to find some unnecessary task to do. So Vina spends her time observing everything that's going on Skydock, and one of the evenings she says the crane operator seems to be very good friends with a hobgoblin captain called Earl.
Oh.
Nice. Very nice.
They seem to every time
Do you remember when
his
you
ship
the guy
comes
with
in,
the wine?
Yeah.
they always seem to leave together to go for a drink, I suppose. Although where they go, it's not down to the alcohol-free bar, that's for sure.
We need to find some booze.
Or get in contact with Earl and ask, be like, well, Earl, does he owe us a favor, or we have his favor? Like he's like,
I think we do.
yeah.
I mean, I gave him his bottle of space whiskey back.
We stole the whiskey and gave it right back, and he
Give
was
it back to
happy.
him. Man, if we would have kept it, we could right now. Dang.
Well, we gave it back so we can go talk to him and be like, hey,
Yeah.
can you come get your friend at this specific time? No reason.
Or maybe just have him run the crane a little closer to the balcony for someone to like jump on it.
Yeah, but we want him not to be there, I think, because we'll want to be able to manipulate it ourselves.
Vina asked, do you want us to like, I could ask him to like give me lessons how to operate the crane.
Actually, that's a pretty good idea. We might need somebody to operate it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. If you think you can if you think you can finesse that, go ahead.
I mean, I could try. I'm easy on the eye.
Get it, girl. Use your feminine wiles.
Yeah.
How to think? Where does the action kick off, Ace? We can jump right into the action now of skipping to however much time jumped in. Where does the action kick off? And it has to be with some type of dexterity relevant roll. Do you guys want to decide together? Maybe before the approach, you want to decide like a general plan of attack here, so that Goonie can better imagine where the action would kick off.
Probably, yeah. How worried do we need to be about the whole hat thing? Do we have the right hat that's not going to get when we
Did we
enter?
get hats?
They have been very strict about the hats. So unless you're given the clearance on a level, you're wearing the hat that you've got. So the highest level of clearance of hats that you guys have been easily able to access would be a blue hat to go to Skydock, because you've much of your task is spent there with the two wee gnomes, but they have you working when you're there. They have you working hard, but certainly if you wanted the golden caps, they would have to be acquired with some sneakery or thievery or.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that doesn't need to be our first. I mean, the threat is that if we don't have the right hat, we're gonna get disintegrated, and Mirt's place is in a gold hat.
Yeah, I assume we didn't get to our gold hats from our earlier time.
But
no, they kept taking them back. In fact, every time you leave Skydock, they take back the blue caps as well. So
okay. Yeah.
So you just to get to Skydock though, you have to go through the bridge quarters, right? Which is the gold cap area.
Yeah, but they do allow you up the stairs, but not to enter. The guards would send you any blue cap that tried to come into the bridge quarters would be immediately sent to the stairs up to the Skydock.
Okay. And they explained how those work? Was it like checkpoints that if we pass through it, or is it like the whole floor?
There are checkpoints on the stairs. And then there's again the corridor. Mirt's corridor itself has 4 dedicated guards posted there.
Right.
Which room is his? The officers' quarters?
Yeah. So if you wanted to look, the officers' quarters exactly.
Oh.
So you're going
so we're
down that hallway to the end there.
So we're thinking there's just one ruined passageway where if we go through the wrong hat, we're dead. But if we come in through the outside windows of the balcony, then there's not the gold hat checkpoint.
I think coming through the balcony is null and void at this point, considering the Nexus and the Skydock are the same hallway, and then you still have to go through that hallway just to get to the officers' quarters. So I think it's kind of redundant.
Well, I don't think so. I think we can make our way up to Skydock.
There's a stairs wrapping around the. Yeah, I guess this is there's a stair wrapping around the whole outside, and then
Yes.
various entrances to go in.
Exactly. So there's this stairway which takes you into the Nexus, where Ace has observed there could be a treacherous, rather exposed climb up to the window of Mirt's room.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Or there could be, the crane seems to already be constantly easily in position to come down to this balcony, which would give you access to the bridge quarters, but as Kabuki has said, you do then have the complication of getting from here to here and here without a gold cap. So you would certainly need to acquire gold caps if that was going to be part of the plan. But if the crane could be moved, perhaps, and repositioned, then perhaps there could be.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
To go outside the window, kind of thing.
Exactly.
That would be optimal.
Yeah.
For the crane to take us right up there. So yeah, from the Skydock.
Does it look? The crane look like it could get to it could be positioned so that does it have enough reach that it would get to that side?
Yes, just.
Okay.
There would still be not as an easy descent as to the balcony, but yes.
Okay, so I think that we should do that. In that case, would we need gold caps? Like if we went in straight from the outside of
Straight to Mirt's room. Yeah.
Mirt's room?
You would not.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to do that.
As long as you're not caught in his room, of course.
Yeah.
So if one of us goes up to the top, moves the crane, then the crane could be positioned so that the rest of us could. I guess we either start from the bottom and climb down, or the crane gets moved and we climb up to the room.
I think we should all go up, requisition the crane. Vina stays up top, lowers us down. We make it through the window, and do what we're gonna do inside.
You think the windows are the way to go?
Yeah. So we're gonna need strength to break through it, or something to break through it. Magic, whatever it is. Ace, how do you want to start? How would we start off, though?
I guess we're gonna need to get to the crane first, right? Sneak up there.
Yeah.
We have access to the skydock though. Can be a time when we're working.
Right.
We just sneak away with Vina. Then we need to get. Maybe we could sneak up a bottle of wine or something to offer the crane operator.
Well, I think we get Earl to take him away.
Okay.
So I think that might have to be one of our flashbacks if we have. Do we have any flashbacks? One.
We do have one available.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah. Or I guess we could just wait. We could time it so that
We just do it for now.
Earl, yeah, we just time it so that one Earl comes and takes him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think flashbacks are for unexpected complications along the way.
Yeah. All right. Sounds like a plan.
Right?
So how does Ace kick things off, Goonie?
So we're all in the skydock, presumably scrubbing shit. I would step away and kind of give a wink or a nod to each of them, and casually make my way to the crane, and then kind of watch for Earl to come. Maybe if we're gonna time that right. Ask Vina to lift the crane, and we're gonna have to sneak on from the top so she can lower us.
Right, so does the action begin with you dangling off that crane kind of thing?
Yeah, actually. Then kind of acrobatics over to the window.
All right.
And seeing if we can open it.
Let's begin with that roll, and then we can start introducing complications. Ace, as the crane moves, trying to get from the wire over to the grippable part of the window. So give me that dexterity roll. You have basically your dexterity with a straight modifier because the +2s took away the -2 from the difficulty of your target. Oh, beautiful.
17.
Beautiful. That's a success.
Sweet.
As a success, that gives the rest of you the ability to overcome your challenges with advantage this round. The first complication, let's get it out of the way, is going to be with how successful Vina's attempt was to finesse the crane operator and how smooth the whole getting to the room is being provided for everyone. So would someone like to make her charisma check with advantage? She has a +3 modifier.
Sure, and this is happening while we're there?
Yeah, this has happened, so we're seeing
Right.
that
Okay,
he's
cool.
dangling off. So how well was she able to get a learning of the crane operation and how smoothly it's going? That was the first obstacle that has come up for the group. But we're kind of backtracking in time of how
Okay, cool. Yeah.
how that went.
All right, I can roll +3. Come on, Vina. Yeah. All right. Dirty 20.
Yeah, she got an entire lesson as he flirted with Vina the entire afternoon, and she is a pro on this thing. It comes down smooth, avoiding coming past any windows that might have been seen with Ace dangling off there. The window, however, is very small. Too small to easily get off that crate that you're dangling on and quickly hidden away into Mirt's room. So the next obstacle is the tiny size of that window, which is going to force a large amount of time standing there on the crate, visible from anyone walking up those stairs.
I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, who was down first, I guess, is the question here.
Yeah, I don't really. I could heat metal it perhaps, and maybe make it malleable, at least a frame, someone to remove.
Can we communicate? I have whisper message, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I can message that. Is Axel able to fit through there? Do we need to change plans?
There's no way.
This might be a good moment of flashback of having some preparation previously to deal with the window.
I'm sorry, I just thought of my grease spot. I personally, not necessarily Carrie, I would personally like it if the preparation that we got Axel just absolutely greased up oily to the hilt. So he is just flexible. He's just glistening.
Well, I don't know. Hold on. That actually is hilarious. But I mean, we don't need to use a flashback for that. We also have acid casts that can literally just melt through. We can truly just melt through the side. So
I forgot about that.
I could presumably Misty step in, but that won't help getting anybody else in. Because once I was in there, but
yeah. So I think if maybe one of us, are we all on the thing, or is it just
each of you need to gonna get a success? So Ace is successfully going to be able to swing down there, reach the window, but there needs to be some way of getting through the obstacle of the tiny size from someone else in the group. If you don't use a dexterity-based sneaky skill, then basically I'm going to force something that's going to require you to hide at some stage to go unnoticed, unless you flashback it.
I see.
What Trixie? Well, the acid sounds like a good. If you can, put the bead of I don't know what our application is, but put the bead of acid around the pane of the.
Yeah, maybe someone.
Like a glass cutter kind of deal.
Yeah.
So that would fit in with like a easily with like a sleight of hand using the acid.
Preferably you're hanging upside down while you're doing it, but beggars can't be choosers.
Okay, let me see what I got. Yeah, I'm hanging upside down.
If the acid is used, that's going to also actually, I'm going to give that as an automatic success because it's that good and that effective. If you're going to sacrifice some material for it,
definitely, I think that's what.
There's going to cost 2 uses. The amount that's going to need to create a space big enough for you will cost 2 uses of acid.
So Minius will do that. He'll use 2 uses of his acid to spread on the window.
You can get in there. Then the next challenge is being able to communicate to Mirt despite the pain. He is on his bed, curled up, groaning in agony, eyes rolled back in his head, seemingly unaware of his surroundings.
This is where we need the booze, and it's probably withdrawals or something,
Maybe. Would that deluxe welcome package, I can't remember if it was the body wash or the soap. It said it was for use when it was feeling under weather. Would that possibly help that?
It has occurred to Axel that if the healers from the academy have been in here trying to help him, they might have tried that. Yeah.
So Minas could try casting Lesser Restoration, but I'm sure that they also attempted that.
Even if it's only momentary relief, it might be enough for a minimal conversation, though.
Do you think all of his respectful minions would have considered shaking the hell out of him and giving him a backhand slap?
Probably. No.
You think so?
Before we do that, the minions would likely cast. He'll kind of reach over, hover his hands over his body, and cast Lesser Restoration on Mirt. Say, Mirt, we're back. We have to report, and cast that on him. So, Lesser Restoration, you touch a creature and can end either one disease or one condition afflicting it.
You're going to buy yourself a window to communicate with Mirt.
Okay.
With the use of the spell, I'll let you change that to understanding what he's actually trying to say skill instead of a sneaky skill, because his conversation is still going to remain very difficult to understand. What skill would you like to do to decipher him? Like insight, for example?
Yeah. I'll probably use insight, and I would try and use guidance on myself. So I have concentration, so like he'd be like, Flame, let me hear what he's what he's speaking and use insight to try and decipher what Mirt's saying through the groans.
Assuming that you could both be in the room at the same time this is happening, as the magic is going to be unleashed, there's possibly going to be a reaction from the detect magic alarm system that may be going into the room deeper than what was previously advertised as at the door. How would either Axel or Dr. Carey overcome this?
The magic.
I have a flashback, so I was gonna say I could go try to distract the cards or something.
Yeah, well, that ain't my strength, unfortunately. Yeah, my flashback is almost. I know there's alarm. I almost want a flashback to do something to maybe trigger, because like the detect magic is going to then alert someone down the way. So I almost want to wonder if there's a way that she couldn't have, set up a cantrip or cast something else that triggered the alarm, like an hour ago. And because these wizards have been very inattentive, we'll reset the alarm later on. But, so if I triggered it back then, the alarm wouldn't get triggered this time. Even when detect magic sort of goes off, they wouldn't be notified. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't know if it works, but okay.
How did Dr. Carey trigger? How did he manage to get there to trigger that from a distance? There is a brief moment when you're going up to the skydock and you're going through the stairs. You get kind of close, right? You're looking down that hallway.
Right. I said my good friend McKevin taught me Misty Step. So if I could get to the balcony, I could cast a cantrip or cast some sort of harmless spell to trip the alarm, and then Misty Step to be away from where anyone might see it, or to get back with the crew.
Okay, so you're saying you would go down to that balcony, which goes into the banqueting chamber, and sneak in to launch something? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, something like that. The guards are. Oh, if I was at the balcony, the guards would not be there. Yes, something like that is what I'm saying. Yes, so I want to preemptively trip the alarm before Zaminius might do it instead.
Okay, so you'd be going into the
have done that
officers' quarters without a gold cap, risking disintegration, of course.
Is that where I am looking? That's where the balcony is the officers' quarters?
No, the balcony is just outside the banqueting chamber. So there's quite a way.
Banqueting chamber. Oh, to Mirt's. I see.
So you would be coming onto this balcony, and there's a banquet chamber and then a hall. You could, if you were going from the Nexus up to the Skydock, you do have a brief moment where you're looking down that corridor at Mirt's door. Or you could go through the banqueting chamber.
Or I do have a horrible bug familiar friend who I bet is very good at scuttling in all sorts of horrible places and absolutely disintegrating itself on various tracks. That might actually be a much sort of my little bug drone. All right, Creepy, get the hell over there.
What does Creepy do exactly?
I guess it's Creeper. You can use a familiar as for touch spells, right? You can use that as yeah. All right. So I think I just go up to the door and just cast some spell that would just cast Firebolt or Frostbite at the door or something to sort of trip the alarm.
Let's just make a Arcana check with advantage then.
All right, great. I will do that. And this is use of the flashback, just to be clear for
Yes.
Arcana.
So the alarm has already been tripped. And not
yes.
Beautiful.
That is a 25.
Several hours ago, there was a big kerfuffle, and a bug creature was disintegrated.
Now we're back.
But when the restoration magic occurs, there is no alarm trip, there is no sounding, hence there are no guards running to come and see what magic is in the vicinity. There is a moment of clarity from Mirt. His eyes roll back into his head. He looks up at those that are there in the room. You can still see that he's in pain. I see. You're back.
That's right.
What is it? What?
We are succeeding in our task to infiltrate the Mercane, but we need a key to gain their confidence. We are to release a prisoner 13. We heard that you have the key. Do you want us to proceed?
You must follow it wherever it goes. Break the rules you must, so long as you learn. Sea dock. Secret floor. Below the dusty crates, you'll find a water vault. Don't wake. Don't wake. Listen. 1, 3, 1. No. 1, 3, 3, 1. The number.
1331.
Yes.
All right, director. Rest now. Can Zeminius make a medicine check to see what he thinks might be going on?
Yeah. This doesn't affect the outcome of things, but yeah.
Yeah, just so all he's here. It's like.
Ooh. There are some things that are too coincidental, maybe the others have overlooked. And you can't believe that the crate full of Nyogis, although there were many of them, you almost think that Mirt probably would have survived that, even if you guys weren't there. Like,
yeah,
he took the swarm bites like a trooper, right? But he was severely bitten all over his body by that swarm. And you just think it's too coincidental that now he's suffering this, whatever he's suffering. You think maybe something was injected into his bloodstream that is allowing someone to get past the scrying shield ward that is on this room through his blood rather than an attack, a scrying attack as such. And you think that the Nyogi, whatever injected into his body, is someone's knowing that that's there and is using it to get into his mind.
Yeah.
And torture him, basically.
I don't know if we could do anything for him right now, but I think he's being poisoned would be the simplest term, but it's more complicated than that. But we should get out of here. We should retreat for now. And Zeminius will just place a hand on Mirt's shoulder and go to leave. He would want us to complete this mission. So let's retreat.
The last obstacle, which I'm going to throw at Axel, as he's kind of hanging out near the window looking in. He sees that Bosun Tardo has gone out for a smoke on the stairs below and could look up and see the crate and the damaged wall at any moment. And he's the only one in a position to somehow hide the box that's hanging there, or put the wall kind of back into place and make it look normal. But Tardos could look at any moment and see something out of place, given how tense things are at the academy at the moment.
Okay, yeah. Axel will try to pick up the big piece of bulletproof, hurricane-proof glass and try to set it back in place steadily.
Okay. He's strong enough to do it, but it's whether or not he's able to do it quietly enough or not is the question. So give me a stealth check. Nice. Just slots back in. Tardo does look up and finishes her cigar and stubs it out and goes back in, not having seen anything. I believe that was 5 from 5. That is going to lower the difficulty by 5 in the next section of the skill challenge.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.